Digital DJ tips and another live lesson. We are talking today about Pioneer DJ, AlphaTheta, the biggest name in DJing. And if you've decided that they are the company you want to go with your DJ setup, maybe you're brand new to DJing, more than likely this is a company you're going to be looking at, or maybe you're returning to DJing and things have changed, or you're looking to upgrade your gear and you want to know a bit more about this brand and their systems. That's what today's live show is about. Now, we're a DJ school. We teach on all gear. So we've got tutorials and reviews and courses and community members who use everything. I'm happy using everything. But today we're talking specifically about Pioneer DJ and AlphaTheta. Now, this is a live recording, and that means that we are able to take your questions. If you've got anything you want to ask us, I'll try and get to a few of those at the end. But also, you know, there's a lot of gear here. If you are buying this gear later on, after the beginning of the show, and you need a little bit of help later on, then you can simply ask us and we will answer you in the comments. That's what we are here to do. So apparently, because we are recording live, apparently my mic is echoing a little bit. So I've got no idea why that would be the case. I'll just have a little look at the settings here and see if I can fix anything about that as we go along. But we're going to talk about 6 areas here. So the 6 areas are controllers, the software called Rekordbox, the all-in-one systems, and these are the systems which don't need you to have a laptop in the DJ booth, the decks and players, things like this, the pro stuff in other words, the club mixers, very briefly, this is a club mixer, and also scratch mixers. This is a scratch mixer. We'll talk a bit more about these because this is a big popular setup, even though weirdly they don't use Pioneer DJ software. We'll also talk about legacy gear as well. So hopefully we will be able to cover pretty much everything in that. And so I think that's probably going to be good to go, isn't it? I'm going to turn off that microphone there. And I think that's probably going to fix the problem with the microphone. I'm pretty sure it has anyway. I've done this a few times. So just let us know in the comments. Like I say, we are live, which is cool. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Now, look, before we get started, I've got to tell you about all the free stuff that we've got to help you out, because we have got a lot of free stuff and you can go and find this at your leisure. So firstly, there's an article. So the article's literally just gone live on the website. It looks like this. And the article will talk you through everything I'm about to talk about. In fact, we're going to be referring back to the article quite a lot when we look at the gear. So do go and take a look at the article. If you're watching this in January 2025, you'll find the article on the Digital DJ Tips website, literally as one of the first things on the news tab. There it is. But if not, click in the magnifying glass and just type in Pioneer DJ. For instance, you could type in AlphaTheta 2025 and that article will come up, so you can find everything there. So no need to scribble stuff down here, people. The second thing is, if you go to the bottom of any of our articles, you will find a little secret Easter egg link, and that's this link here, free gear tutorials. Click in there and you'll find videos that cover a lot of the gear we're about to talk about. So for instance, we've got the XDJ AZ, which is a standalone unit, the Pioneer DJ Flex 10, the Opus Quad, the XZ. We've also got other brands, as you can see, but we've got the XDJ RX3. These are all units that we're about to talk about. The CDJ 3000s, they are the pro players that we've got here, for instance. So lots and lots of that stuff over there at the bottom of our website. Find that little link. But also you'll find all of these on our YouTube channel. They're all 2-hour-long tutorials where it's literally just every single feature of the gear explained. And they're all completely free. So if you're thinking of buying anything from this video, then go and take a look at that as well. Now, we're a DJ school. We're not a shop. We're not an affiliate site. We don't give you links that we make money from. Everything we tell you here is completely independent. The only money we make is from you when you buy our DJ courses. And there are a couple of courses that you might want if you are able to grab one of these bits of gear and then it's time to start learning. The first one is our Rekordbox Made Easy course, which is about the software that all of this equipment is powered by, or at least most of this equipment is powered by, with a couple of exceptions. And then the other course that you're going to want if you are new to this or you're returning to DJing, whatever gear you use, is our extremely popular and indispensable complete DJ course, which you probably already know about if you've been following us for a while, because it's based on the book Rock the Dance Floor, which is the best-selling book on how to DJ on Amazon. Right, that's all the housekeeping done. Let's get started then with the first of our 6 areas we're going to look at, which is DJ controllers. So DJ controllers are the type of gear where you take your laptop with you into the DJ booth, right? The DJ software runs on there. It's called Rekordbox. I was just talking about it then. We've got a course on it. It looks like this. And Rekordbox software is DJ software in the same way that Serato and Engine DJ, and Virtual DJ and Tractor and DJ Pro, all those apps are. In other words, it looks like this, but you plug it into your DJ controller. This is a DJ controller. It's a very basic DJ controller from the brands we're talking about. This is the AlphaTheta Flex 2, but they go all the way up to, well, here's a slightly bigger one here. This is the Flex 4. Then there's a slightly bigger one here. I'm going to try and pick it up and show it to you on camera. I'll have to move some other things out of the way in order to do that. It's this one here, the Groove 6, which is related to the two I just showed you. It's just kind of like if you've got them 1, 2, 3, this is a bigger, more expensive one in their kind of range that are aimed at consumers, aimed at people who just want to DJ at home for fun, really. And then they move up to their Pro gear, and their Pro gear includes this, the most popular piece of Pro gear when it comes to controllers, the Flex 10, which is just kind of their all-rounder, their big all-rounder. This is the one that's got all the inputs and outputs on the back. They let you connect your normal decks to it and stuff. So if you've got the money, this is kind of the Pro one to go for. But we're going to have a little look at that range formally in a second. So these are all DJ controllers. These all plug into that software I just showed you. Without the software, it ain't going to work. Without the software, you're not going to get anything out of any of those units because they need the software to work, right? So these are called DJ controllers. And as you can see, this company makes a whole shed load of them. One of the problems with trying to choose your DJ gear from Pioneer DJ, well, in fact, let's talk about why I keep calling them Pioneer DJ and AlphaTheta. They've changed their name, basically, but they're still lingering on because a lot of the gear is still out there with the old name. So I'm going to use the names interchangeably here. But over time, you'll hear AlphaTheta being used more and more and Pioneer DJ being phased out. Right, so we are talking about one of the problems with this brand, if you like, is that they've got so many pieces of DJ gear out there, from the very cheap to the very expensive. So it can be hard to know which ones to go for. And so that's why I was just talking about, you know, this tiny gear we've got here and the bigger gear. But let's go back to the article, because the article is going to help us to formally see what the range is, because there's a couple of units that are too big for me to have hanging around here, like over there in the corner. Let's see if I can get a camera on it. There you go. That's that one there. Where's my hand? There it is. That one there and that one there. They're too big to bring over. I'll talk about those in a minute because they're a little bit more than controllers. They're the Opus Quad and the XDJ AZ. So I'll talk about those in a second. But back in the article, there's a useful little slider which will help you to understand the controllers. We've put pluses and minuses for all of them. So it looks a little bit like this. So if you go and find this on the article, you'll find that you can slide between all of the units. There's a little slide control at the bottom here. And then you can look at everything they've got, because the ones I haven't mentioned are the Rev 5 and the Rev 7, these two here. And these are a little bit unusual in that they don't actually use Pioneer DJ AlphaTheta's own software. They're made for another platform called Serato. And so if you're a scratch DJ or a hip hop DJ, these are the ones you're going to go for over and above the ones I've already shown you. But like I say, they're all on a little slider down here on the page that I've told you about and that is linked underneath this video. And we've got pluses and minuses of them all here. And the best bit is we've got full reviews of them as well. So you can click through here to find not only the review, but also a video where I talk you through every single one of these units. So there's a lot of resource here to help you to choose. So they're controllers. They've got the lot, and I haven't even really touched on the Serato ones there, which is another area as well. So they're their controllers. The next thing then, I've already mentioned it a couple of times, is the Rekordbox software. One thing you have to understand if you want to use this brand is that the software is right at the heart of everything they do. This is a big brand, right? This brand do a lot of things. So they don't only do DJ controllers, but as we're going to move on to, they do all-in-one DJ systems, but they do DJ software. And the DJ software is the most flexible DJ software of them all, because it's the only DJ software platform that can work with or without your laptop. And so it's possible with this brand to start with a tiny little DJ controller like this. It'll cost you a couple of $100, and the software is the same software that you'll be using on this that you would be using on this if you were playing in a Pro DJ booth. The only difference is you'll be plugging your USBs into the Pro players, but the music library and all the work you've done on your music library would be exactly the same library that you used on one of these. So it's possible to start DJing on the cheapest gear and move up to playing on the gear that all the pros use while using the same software platform. So it's really important that you understand the software, its ins and outs and so on. So again, it looks like this. It's free for most use cases. They are quite generous with not charging you to really use most of the features most of the time on most of their gear. But if you do want to subscribe and get some of the extra features like lighting, like editing tracks right there in the software, and some of their cloud features, you do have to subscribe. And that's the only way of getting it. You can't buy it. So that is a little bit of a issue for some people. They don't want to subscribe to software. So that could actually be a deal breaker for the whole brand for you. So bear that in mind. You can't just go and buy the platform anymore. You have to subscribe to it. So we've covered the controllers and the software. The software, by the way, it's on phones. It's got a really good cloud version, so you can have all your stuff in Dropbox and it'll know where it all is. You can add your music anywhere. You can even walk up to a pro DJ setup like this and put in effectively your username and password and log into your own music collection in the cloud. So if you've forgotten to bring a track, you can get it. It's not the end of the world as long as the system is set up where you're playing. So their software is, as I say, the most extensive of anyone's. So now we want to move on to all-in-ones. So an all-in-one DJ system, and this is something people struggle with because they don't really understand the difference between the controllers we've already looked at that need the software when you're performing and all-in-ones. An all-in-one system doesn't. An all-in-one system will allow you to DJ just with the unit and no laptop. Now we've actually already looked at one because this is an all-in-one setup. Now don't worry about my decks here. Imagine the decks weren't there and these two players were right here to the left and right of the mixer. It's the same functionality that I'm talking about. In other words, there's no need to have a laptop. You plug in a pen drive or a stick drive or USB into the units and the whole thing works. It's always been that way in the Pro DJ booth. The difference is that this isn't actually all-in-one. These are separate. These are modular items, so they can be switched out if they break and so on. But when it comes to you and me DJing, we don't need that. Something that literally has everything I just showed you in one box is the way forward if you want to not have a laptop. This is the most popular in the Pioneer DJ AlphaTheta range. It's the Pioneer DJ XDJ RX3. XDJ. The XDJs are the ones that have got this functionality. The DDJs are the ones that haven't. So this has got a nice big screen on it where my chin is. It's got 2 channels. It's got most of the functionality you need. And it's very, very popular. So I don't know about where you are, but where I am, if I go into any given vanilla bar overnight, the chances are if there's a DJ on, they're going to be DJing on one of those. The good thing about these units is they also work with your laptop. So if you do want to use the laptop features and the stuff that the laptop software does that the all-in-ones don't, then you can still do it. You can still plug it in and use it. So in other words, it adds on the ability to leave the laptop at home to the stuff that the controllers do. So let's go back to the article then and have a little look at what the choices are, because I've just shown you one. I've told you I've got a couple tucked over in that corner there as well. Again, where's my finger? There it is. This is the Opus Quad. We're going to look at that in a second. And this is the AZ, which is the current flagship. Again, we've got full training tutorials on all of these things over on the website. But let's go back to the article which I've pushed you towards as well, and I'll show you where they are in that. So back to the website then, and just if you've just joined us, we're talking about the best Pioneer DJ and AlphaTheta gear 2025, and it's all in an article that we've just published on the website. So we already covered the controllers and the software. Now let's move on and look at the whole range. So they've got this one here, the Omnis Duo on the left-hand side, this little blue one. It's kind of a portable one. So if you want portable, you want a battery built in, that's the one. I've just talked to you about the RX3. The RR is just an older, much older version of what the RX3 does. It's a lot cheaper, but it's also far more limited. Only go for it if you really can't afford to move up a bit. And then the AZ and the Opus Quad, which I've just shown you in the background here. The AZ and the Opus Quad are particularly similar in that they've got 4 channels, a nice big screen, they've got streaming, they've got Wi-Fi, they've got all the modern stuff, but they're different in that the Opus Quad, the one that I'm kind of hovering over on the right hand side of the screen here, is a little bit more stylized to look nice in a high-end bar or in a wedding DJ setup where they really want their gear to stand out, as opposed to the XDJ AZ, which effectively is this stuck into one box. So if you want the club look, the AZ is the one. If you want something a little bit more stylish, then the Opus Quad is the one. Again, we've got full reviews of all of this stuff over on the Digital DJ Tips website, and we've got full 2-hour-long training tutorials on everything they do. So if you're considering them and you really want to dive into what they can do, they're the places to look. So we've covered controllers and all-in-ones, we've looked at the software they work with, but what about decks? What about players? What about the things, the sources, if you like, of the audio? Well, again, we've got a couple in the studio. This is the CDJ 3000. This is the Pro DJ source. These are the ones that you'll find in clubs and festivals and so on. There are other models down in the range as well from those. They're all older. They're all quite a lot older. So again, on the article, we've got them all listed. You can see the article is going through them now. But the one that it's worth going for is the CDJ 3000 if you want to go down that route. Otherwise, you might as well get an all-in-one or a controller. There's not really much of an argument for separates otherwise. That said, they do have some turntables. So the PLX 1000 is their version of the Technics turntable. So if you want just a straight Technics and you can't get these anymore, the old Mark IIs, you might want to go for the Pioneer DJ PLX 1000. And they've also got a turntable called the Cross 12, which is the one our very own Jazzy Jeff uses. And you'll see in our new Jazzy Jeff course, actually, that's launching in a couple of weeks, called Jazzy. Well, I think we've settled on Jazzy Jeff's Scratch Skills Masterclass. I think that's what it's going to be called. But anyway, Jeff is using the Cross 12 all the way through that course. But the interesting thing about that turntable is it's kind of got a few features built into it, which are a bit more than vinyl, a bit more than a turntable. They're designed to work with DJ software. And interestingly, it's not Pioneer DJ AlphaTheta's own. It's actually Serato, the other big DJ software platform. So the idea is you pair their Cross 12 turntables with their extra buttons and features with a mixer that's designed to do that as well. This is one of the mixers, and that's what we're going to move on to looking at now. We're going to look at mixers. And so this is a scratch mixer. It's got the controller buttons on here. It's designed that you can plug it in. If we look around the back of it, you'll see that it's got the USB socket, so you can plug it into a computer. If you pair one of these with their modern turntables, you get a really high performance scratch setup, and everyone who uses that uses Serato software. But nonetheless, that is what you would go for if you wanted to set up a scratch setup with Pioneer DJ gear. You'd go for Serato software, not their own software, and you'd go for one of their scratch mixers. Now, this is only one of them, so let's have a look at the other scratch mixers that they have. And again, they're all in the article. So they have the DJM S11, that's the bigger version of the one I just showed you, and they have the S5, which is the smaller version of the one I just showed you. They also have an older one actually called the S3, which is really old. So again, if you can't afford to get, say, the S5, it's better to get that than the S3. So they're the mixers that you would go for scratching. But they also have club mixers. The club mixers are here. So we've already shown you the A9, that's this one here. And honestly, if you're going to be going and buying separates, you've obviously got money to burn. You're going to buy what I'm showing you here. The other club mixers exist, but again, if you're going to get those, you're better off just buying the controller or the all-in-one that has a mixer that's quite similar. With the notable exception of the Euphonia. Now the Euphonia, this one here, again, I'm hovering my mouse over it, is a ridiculously expensive rotary mixer with digital smarts. It is an awesome piece of kit, but look, if you're buying this, you know that you want this. It's a specialist piece of gear. Again, Jazzy Jeff has one of these, and bizarrely, Jeff uses it just to put his output through because he thinks the filters sound so nice in it. The transformers sound so nice in it. It gives a nice edge to his sound. This is a true audiophile piece of gear, but I wanted to mention it because it's reasonably new and you might have heard of it, the AlphaTheta Euphonia. So that's the decks and mixers and scratch mixers covered. And with that, we get to the end of the gear, other than they have headphones. These are wireless headphones that work with their new XDJ AZ. Again, that's the one that I've got tucked over there in the corner. It's just fun putting my finger in here. There it is, that one there. You press a button on the front of there, and these headphones here connect wirelessly. I could be listening over there without the lead. It's quite cool. They also have PA speakers. They also have speakers that you can use in your home DJ setup as well. So look, they sell all kinds of gear, but what I wanted to cover here was the DJ gear. So we've covered controllers, We've covered software, we've covered all-in-ones, we've covered mixers, we've covered decks, we've covered scratch gear. We've touched on the software, both Rekordbox and also the fact that some of this works with Serato. And they have other things. They have samplers, they have boxes that control the buttons on your DJ gear a bit better than the ones underneath your jogs. So again, we've got one here. This is the the XP2, which works with Serato and Rekordbox. But I think we've probably covered the main stuff. Again, look, we've got our reviews of all of this stuff. There's nothing I've shown you now that we haven't got a full review and video review of that you can find on the Digital DJ Tips website. We've got a course on Rekordbox and we've got a course on DJing called the Complete DJ course, all of which will help you with this gear. But there's also that article, which is your first place to go to. But now I want to spend the next 10 minutes or so just to end off today's show and to end off this video if you're watching it inside the article, talking to you about this stuff. I don't really want to get into a debate on whether this is the brand to go for or whether you should go for one of the other brands. We cover the other brands as well. Today we're talking about, okay, I've decided this is the one I'm going for. What should I, how should I choose? So I will skip over questions saying, oh no, actually you should go for this or that. Great. I'll play on anything. Our students will play on anything. We're talking about these brands today. So with that proviso, let's go to what's going on in the live chat, starting with a few of our customary hellos to our fantastic audience. Hello to Kesha, to Mixmaster G, who's saying the countdown to the NAMM show has started. Yes, and maybe there'll be new gear announced at the NAMM show, almost certainly, right? Apologies for the echo, people, but I've got that sorted out, as we know. Look, hundreds of people telling me there was a bit of an echo on the audio. I love you guys. So can you recommend DJ monitors? They've got a range of monitors, and we do have reviews of them over on the reviews section of our website. So if you want to go and take a peek over there, and let me show you actually, because you might be new to us, how to get to the reviews section of our website. So you go to Digital DJ Tips, you click in your reviews, and then you go for what you want. So in this case, looking for speakers, I can click in speakers there, and there's all the speakers we've got reviews of, and down here somewhere you'll find reviews of Pioneer DJs. For instance, the DJ DM40D, which is probably a good choice for your home studio, for your small bedroom studio or something like that, but there's others there as well. So thanks for the question. Let's move back then to what you're saying in the live chat. Hello to the Ruckus and to Catherine Catsgrooves. Hello to Houseman Real over there in Belgium. I Am Preacher Man says, I've got an XDJ AZ and my problem was mostly related to dynamic track analysis. So the way that the software knows how to line your beats up when you hit the sync button is by analyzing the tracks. That's when it finds out where the beats and bars are. And nowadays in DJ software, it doesn't always get it right, but you can correct it to make it better. So it's about learning how to use those, it's called beat gridding, how to use those beat gridding functions properly. So if you have a specific question about that, I Am Preacher Man, of course, ask it in the comments and my team will get to you. But the key to getting everything to work properly is to master how dynamic beat grids work. Again, it's all covered in our Rekordbox Made Easy course. Thank you for that. Lots of you helping each other out, which is always good. It always makes my job a little bit easier. So a lot of you just telling me the fun you're having on the gear. The Ruckus is practicing a house mix on his Flex 4 and then moving up to the Flex 10 to do the final. Yeah, a lot of DJs, here's a little tip for you really. A lot of DJs use something like this as a kind of, this is the DDJ Flex 4. It's $300. It's a great little unit, and a lot of DJs, even pro DJs, will have one of these as a backup for their bigger gear. Maybe they don't want to get on their bigger gear always. Maybe they don't want to take their bigger gear to small gigs. Or maybe if you're a mobile DJ or something, you just need something in case your big gear kind of goes down and you're stuck and you need something to plug in and carry on the music. For all those reasons, these are really popular. James Hype, our tutor, he loves this. He's got one of these. And, James really puts this stuff through its paces, as I'm sure you know if you have any of his courses or you've watched any of his tutorials with us, or indeed his YouTube videos. However, James loves these. So one piece of advice I would give you, if you just don't know what to go for, going for something like this, this is the DDJ Flex 4. Going for something like this will get you a really good version of the software for free, of the Rekordbox software. It will unlock and unpack 80% of what you'll ever use. So you're going to be able to learn up to a very, very, very high standard on this. And you won't want to get rid of it. When you do buy something bigger, like the Flex 10, this unit here, which is far more featured, got far more on it. But when you do buy something like this, the chances are you're not going to want to get rid of your Flex 4 because it's a great backup unit and you'll be in love with it by then. So you really haven't wasted your money. But if you decide DJing's not for you, you can sell this for nearly what you bought it for and you won't have lost very much. So our biggest piece of advice to beginners is, look, don't make this overcomplicated. Go and buy yourself a Flex 4. So what else have we got then? I think the Flex 10 looks like a fun unit. It says Harmonic Boom on Twitch. If money fell out of the sky, that is where I'd go. Yes, certainly it's not a cheap unit for sure. I want the AZ, says Bert, but money's tight. I actually went with the Groove 6 and it's a really impressive controller. That's the one that we held up a second ago, which I've put down. Where did I put the Groove 6? See, there's so many controllers here that I literally have not got a clue where I put it. Isn't that funny? You can probably all see it. So it's behind you, Phil. I honestly don't know where I put that. I honestly think I'm going mad sometimes. Do you know what I mean? I'm in a 4 meter by 4 meter studio. There it is. I was looking at it all along. This is the Groove 6. And the Groove 6 is a consumer build controller. Now what that means is that around the back, it hasn't got all the inputs and outputs of the Pro Gear, and it hasn't got a particularly great sound card. I mean, it sounds all right, but it's not going to have the same sound as the Pro Gear. It's not built like Pro Gear. It's basically one of these, but in a bigger box with better jog wheels and this new feature on the top, which is really nice. It's called the Groove Circuit, and it lets you swap out any drums from any track with any drums from any other track. So you can just press a couple of buttons and grab your favorite drums and immediately switch them anytime you want. It's really useful for all kinds of things, not least actually mobile DJs, just putting decent drums underneath tracks that otherwise would sound quite thin because they were old. So this is quite a good unit. This is much better than the one it replaces in my view, which looked similar but just didn't quite hit the nail on the head as far as features went. So that's the Groove 6 or the GRV6, and it's a unit which is being enjoyed by Bert. So I'm glad, Bert, over there on Facebook, you found something you could afford. And so DJ Rewind was asking the same thing about the Groove 6. Yeah, I like it, DJ Rewind. Now, when are they going to make a Flex 10 version of the Groove 6? I don't think there will many. I think it's just taking sales from one part of their ecosystem to the other. I don't think they would do that. I want to sell my Roland DJ 808. I need a new controller with many inputs. So in this range, it would be the Flex 10 that you would be going for at that point. I used a Reloop Ready. They're these tiny controllers. This is the Reloop Ready. Tiny little controllers. I used a Reloop Ready in a club last week for a 2-hour slot. It was absolutely fine and it was easy to sit next to the decks. Yeah, small controllers are great. So the big difference between this one here, which is the smallest controller in the AlphaTheta range, and the one it replaced, is that this one has got a sound card in it. The one it replaced, the DDJ 200, unforgivably really, didn't have any audio in it. And that was just silly in this day and age. You had to find other ways of getting your headphones to work and stuff. They fixed that with this. It's got a little speaker output and a little output for your headphones on it. If you want something really, really tiny, this is the one to go for. The big thing it's missing, and the reason why for most DJs, I would say get the Flex 4 instead. The big thing it's missing is any way of selecting the music and loading it onto the decks. So you haven't got a knob there to browse your library. So you have to be on the mouse and keyboard to do that. And I don't like that. But hey, it's a lot smaller. So that would be the one to go for. And again, you know, home run for the Pioneer DJ AlphaTheta guys. It's better than the one it replaces, just like the Groove 6 is better than the Flex 6, which it replaced. Okay, one or two more questions. This is from Killer Strong, who says, I'm having problems with my Rev 5. Now, the Rev 5 is one of the ones that we haven't pulled off the shelves to show you, but it's one of the scratch DJ controllers, if you like, the open format ones, one of the ones that's designed to work with Serato software rather than Rekordbox. And Killer Strong says, when I record, the audio drops out every now and then, and it didn't happen live, but it is in the recording. I'd say it's probably your laptop struggling to record at the same time as powering your DJ software. So maybe just try reducing, increasing the latency or the buffer size. That might affect the way that it can make a clean recording. or do all the usual laptop optimization things to try and make your laptop, not have to work so hard. Serato it can be a bit hard on laptops as far as resource goes. It could just be that. But if you've got an older laptop, that's what I'd be looking at. Try increasing that buffer size, killer strong. So I think I'm going to leave it there, people. My team and I will get back to you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch with any questions I haven't answered. Just to remind you that everything we've talked about today is in the article that we just published on Digital DJ Tips, which is ready for you to go and look at now. So just head to Digital DJ Tips and click on the Best Pioneer DJ AlphaTheta Gear 2025 article, and you will find everything we've talked about with all the links we've talked about here as well. It's been a pleasure bringing this to you. I hope you found it useful. But meanwhile, from me, Phil, here in the studio, get good, get out there, make the moments. I'll see you very soon. Till next time, bye-bye.